Kamusta na mga ka-adik? This is a 36 volts 250 watts stock hub motor on my Fiido Q1s, and it only gives me 25 km/h top speed. Riding inside the city with countless corners, this speed would be ideal, but not in a long straight road. You will find it super slow and boring. That is why I decided to upgrade my Fiido Q1s to get more speed and hype. From 36 volts 250 watts hub motor to a huge jump 72 volts 4500 watts LD hub motor. Partnered with a strong torque 50 amp YYK controller, and powered by a massive 72 volts 37 Ah battery pack. Let's start. I removed the disc brake rotor and the tire from the stock hub motor. After removing the stock parts, I proceeded installing them to the new hub motor. Since the hub motor has two wires coming out from both ends of the axle, I had to put it on my lap while installing the tire and the inner tube. I had to be very careful with the wires not to get damaged. Next is the disc brake rotor. The hub motor already comes with 6 screws for installing the rotor. This was the hardest part. It was really tough for me to install the hub motor into the swing arm. I needed to pull outward the left and the right of the swing arm while my chest was pushing the hub motor inwards in order to set in place the axle into the swing arm. These are the nuts, washers, and covers for the hub motor axle. Remember that this is a 72 volts 4500 watts hub motor. Very powerful hub motor. I had to make sure to tighten well enough the nuts. Don't forget to put the covers as well. This will at least protect the wires. After installing the rear wheel motor, I proceeded installing the brake caliper. For the meanwhile, I'll be using the stock mechanical brakes front and rear. Soon, I will be replacing the mechanical brakes with hydraulic brakes. Next was the battery placement. Since the battery is excessively big in size, it does not fit properly into the frame. As you can see, there's a space or gap between the battery and the lower side of the frame. I use an old damaged controller box. This one is perfect in filling the gap between the battery and the frame. It's a hard aluminum box with plastic cover on both ends. I wrap it with black electrical tape so it looks clean and aligned to the color of the frame. This is the key ignition switch kit with voltage display and thumb throttle. And this is the speed switch. I got this too from Amazon. You can check the link in the description. I needed to cover this side to avoid water from splattering into and to protect the battery from getting wet, in case when riding in the road or terrain with a small amount of water. The cutout must be snag fit into the frame to ensure water splatter cannot go through. To protect the battery from strong shock, I put foam pads. You can put thicker foam as long as the battery is set securely. This is a 50 amp YYK controller. It can be used with 48 volts to 72 volts battery. This is the switch wire or power lock wire of the controller, also even called as electric lock. It is labeled written in Chinese. You can use the Google Lens to translate it in English. Basically, this wire is for the ignition switch kit that connects this wire to the main power positive line wire, which is connected to the power source or battery. To get more clear about it, I put 2 different link tutorial videos on how to wire or install the key ignition switch on a brushless controller. These 2 thick wires, red and black, are the power line wires. These wires are for the battery. Red wire is the positive and the black wire is the negative line wire. These 3 thick wires, blue, green and yellow, are the motor phase wires. These are the hall sensor wires, black, red, blue, green and yellow. These are the throttle wires, red, green and black, speed wires, blue, black and pink. These 2 connectors are for the alarm kit, and these wires are for the Bluetooth module kit. Lastly, there are more other wires that you can leave disconnected. The controller will still work fine even not connecting or using these wires. This is the Bluetooth module kit. It's water prohibited, so you have to take care of it not to get wet. Installing this kit is very easy. It's a plug and play kit. It has 4 wires. All you have to do is disconnect this connector bridge and plug or connect the Bluetooth module kit. As you can see, the wires are color coded. Each wire corresponds to the same color. Red to red, green to green, yellow to yellow, and black to black. I provided a piece of black acrylic board and sticker on the controller. I used double-sided tape to set in place the acrylic. Make sure the acrylic board edges are unsharpened to avoid the wire's insulation from getting cut. After setting the acrylic board and the connection box in place on the controller, I started arranging the wirings. I made an extension wire using XT90 connector, 10 gauge silicone wire, and lug ring terminal connectors. This will be used for extending the battery output port wire. And I made another one but only the red wire. Both ends have lug ring terminal connectors. Next was the key ignition switch kit wires with voltage display and thumb throttle. It has 5 wires, yellow, blue, black, green, and red. The red, green, and black are the throttle wires. These are metal connectors. I carefully clip the metal connectors on each throttle wires. To get strong current connection, I soldered the area where I clipped the metal connector. The soldered area will also hold the wires and the metal connector securely. The blue and the yellow are the switch wires. Blue wire will be connected to the electric lock wire of the controller, while the yellow wire will be connected directly to the main power positive line wire that connects the battery and the controller. I extended both wires. Finally, the wires of the key ignition switch kit with voltage display and throttle are ready. This is a blade fuse that will bridge or connect the main power positive line wire to the yellow switch wire. It's always ideal to add fuse when building high voltage electric ride or electric scooter. Before doing the final installation, I first gave it a try. These wires are from the key ignition switch kit with voltage display and thumb throttle. 2 cable wires from the hub motor, 1 from the left and another 1 from the right axle. You will notice there are 6 motor phase wires, 2 green, 2 blue, and 2 yellow. And this is the hall sensor wires. Then, I started connecting the motor phase wires. I combined the two green motor phase wires of the hub motor and then connect to the green phase wire of the controller. In this case, the phase wires are not according to their color codes. The two blue motor phase wires from the hub motor connects to the yellow phase wire of the controller, while the two yellow motor phase wires of the hub motor connects to the blue phase wire of the controller. These are the whole sensor wires of the controller, and these are the whole sensor wires from the hub motor. Since these two connectors are not compatible to each other, I needed to use a conversion plug-in adapter in order to connect the whole sensor wires. These are the controller power line wires, black and red for the battery. This is the extension wire for the battery output port. This is a 72 volts 60 amp circuit breaker, perfect for my 50 amp controller. This circuit breaker is for the main power positive line wire between the battery and the controller. The battery line stud is going to the power source or battery, while the auxiliary line stud is going to the controller or load. I will use the extension wire to connect the circuit breaker to the controller power positive line wire. As you can see, the extension wire is on the auxiliary stud. Next was the battery line stud. I put the red wire or positive line wire of the extension. This is for the battery positive line output port. This black wire is for the negative line wire of the controller. And this red wire, which is screwed on the breaker auxiliary line, is for the controller positive line wire. This is a blade fuse. I put it also on the breaker auxiliary line. This will bridge the main power positive line wire going to the controller electric lock through the key ignition switch kit. Next was the throttle wires of the controller and the throttle wires from the switch kit. This blue wire is from the key ignition switch kit, will be connected to the electric lock or switch wire of the controller. And this yellow wire from the key ignition switch kit will be connected to the blade fuse, which is linked to the main power positive line wire that connects the battery and the controller. Always ensure all the bolts were tightened, and don't forget to put back the connection box cover. Once everything is set, time to connect the battery and turn on the circuit breaker. This is a grab bar. It's made out of aluminum, typically for standing electric scooter. My Fiido is way heavier now than before, so I had to make sure I could carry it properly. I drilled 4 holes and secured the grab bar with 4 bolts on the seat post. Make sure to tighten all the bolts as this will carry a lot of weight. These are acrylic boards. I got this from Media Store with the help of my friend Roderick. You can check in the description the full address of Media Store or simply search it on Google. And you can also visit their Facebook page. This is the charging port extension wire for the battery. I added blade fuse holder loaded with 5 amps fuse. In case of charger malfunction or failure, for example short circuit, the fuse will blow and breaks the circuit. Always use fuses or breakers to avoid unwanted or harmful event like fire. Next was the circuit breaker. I attached the breaker using 2 bolts on the storage bag, ensuring a super secured attachment. I put wire sleeve on the charging port wire for extra protection. This is the battery output port extension. I covered the lag ring terminals with electrical tape to avoid short circuit while finalizing the wiring connections.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before.
After preparing the battery ports, I started organizing the hub motor wires, key ignition switch kit wire, and speed switch wire. I eventually extended the speed switch wire and ran the wire through the frame. I used zip ties or cable ties to set in place the wires on the frame. I also put wire cover sleeve to achieve clean looking wirings. Switch wires, throttle wires, speed switch wires, pulse sensor wires, and the motor phase wires.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before I knew. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles
Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to support my channel by liking, commenting, and sharing all my videos. At syempre, maraming salamat. Muli kayong naligaw sa channel ko. Ride safe lang palagi, mga ka-geek.